I had to cover this. This is essentially the catalyst to the channel. I've always wanted to do a YouTube channel and I've always had video ideas, but this was the one, and this happening made me want to do it, pretty much. The SPFL situation in relation to the coronavirus pandemic. I'm Chris Gray and welcome to the party. Primarily, I want this to be a Celtic channel. I want to cover my team, but obviously with this pandemic and there's no football going on, you kind of have to stick with the current events. Now imagine you're in a room with 12 people. You are part of the 12 people and there's one person screaming autistically at the top of their lungs. You're going to have to talk about that person. In this case, a club. So before we get started, I am a Celtic fan and I will have bias. That's easy to point out. I will have emerald specs on. Most of this is an honest opinion, but hopefully some of you guys will agree with me outside of being Celtic fans. The 2019 to 2020 SPFL season has been brought to a halt due to the coronavirus pandemic and appears to be heading towards Celtic being crowned champions. Celtic are 13 points clear at the top of the table and we have a commanding goal difference to boot. But ending the season and giving Celtic the championship has caused some teary bears. Now, other countries have had similar and different outcomes. There hasn't been too many decided yet, but there's two that I want to bring up. The Belgian League have declared that their standings are what will be awarded, giving Club Brugge the title. Although apparently that could be overturned at a meeting that's recently happened. Obviously in the situation with the pandemic, which I'll cover a couple of times in this, nothing's protocol. There's no book, there's no rule book to look at how to handle this, so everything could be handled on the fly. As it stands, Club Brugge are the Belgian champions. And on the other hand, the Dutch League have chosen not to declare a winner. The difference here being that the two top teams are split on goal difference. They have the exact same point total, but they are split on goal difference. So you can understand, with that being as close as it is, it would be unfair to call a champion when they're actually in a drawn position. Now, it's silly to be complaining so much about football when this horrible virus is killing people all over the world. So you would think that the quickest way to deal with this would be the best. But apparently not. Now, I'm a Celtic fan and I love not wasting my energy on deluded. But how can anybody think that this league should be declared null and void? It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. The only team that I can say that have a right to be annoyed are Hearts. They do have a chance to stay up. They have played a horrible season. Beat Rangers a couple of times though, but they have a chance to stay up. The other teams that are going to get relegated in the lower leagues as well, I can see why they would be annoyed. But if you're outside of that and you're wanting the league to be declared null and void for any other reason outside of that, it's an absolute farce. I can't understand it. If anything, Hearts should get the chance to be in a playoff, or the league could be reconstructed. But that looks unlikely. Short-term league reconstruction would host a lot of problems in the future. How many teams would be declared for relegation and promotion? If we had a 14-team league, but we had to go back to the normal structure of the league the following season, would 3 teams have to get an automatic relegation if they're at the bottom of the league, 1 playoff spot? And would 1 team get to be promoted to the lower league, or would 2? So would there be 2 playoffs? Like, it causes a lot of problems, and then there would be more uproar from that happening there as well when there's more money on the line. So probably the most sense that could be made out of this is just to end the season and declare the standings as they are. That saves a lot of hardship. Also, a null and void season could affect a lot of clubs financially. And it's very telling that a certain blue team wanted the season to be declared null and void, but still wanted the prize money. Those two things don't come mutually. Now, it was stated by the SPFL that prize money could be loaned, not given like the Rangers statement asked, but loaned. A couple million would have to be paid back. With a certain team's past and how they've dealt with financial handlings, I could see why a board wouldn't want to give them any money. It would just be throwing money out the window. And also, if a season was declared null and void, would people be in the right to declare a refund on their season ticket? Now, I think smaller teams with a hardcore fan base probably wouldn't demand refunds. But looking at a certain blue team's history, their fans let their team die 8 years ago. Do you think, given the chance now, that it would be different? I think they would watch their team die again. I would be happy to watch it. There was a vote to declare the season to be ended and the standings to be awarded. But of course, within traditional Scottish football lore, it came with drama. Dundee's original vote wasn't counted. It said that the vote didn't reach where it was intending to be. Which again, it is quite strange, but when you factor in that there were 42 teams within this vote, right? One team making an error via human error or email traffic, something, doesn't sound too out there. It was shared through rumour trees that Dundee originally were going to vote no. Although it's a lot of hearsay and there's a lot of messages and a lot of he said, she said, but there's nothing that's came out to say that this is accurate. Some sect of football fans believe that Dundee were swindled into it, but their new striker, Odsonne Edouard, tends to disagree. Now, trolling through the old Twitter machine will have you see many people upset with this decision to end the league and to award Celtic as the champions. Many people are complaining about the end of the season and why it should be declared null and void, none of which make any sense. The league is not mathematically over. Very true, it isn't. But since we're talking numbers, here's some stats. Celtic are 13 points clear with 8 games to go. Rangers have 1 game in hand, so they have 9 games to play. We would need to drop 10 points in that stretch of 8 games, which hasn't happened since Ronnie Dyler was in charge, and that was his first stretch of games. We haven't lost 10 points since. The Huns would need to win all 9 of their games, which they haven't done successfully since they were in the Championship. Even after they dropped points freely to Hearts, Kilmarnock and Hamilton, their souls were destroyed. They were pretty much giving up. A lot of people on Twitter, a lot of fans even declared the league was over. They had no chance. But as soon as this came into it, they were screaming for a null and void season. Okay, that obviously makes a lot of sense. Being handed a title. Celtic aren't being handed anything. Again, they've played 30 games. They are 13 points clear. Rangers had a chance to catch them and they fumbled it. They fumbled it hard. They lost to the bottom team at the table twice in 1 week. Terrible. It has been stated by chairman, manager and player that they would rather play the season out. It looks like it's not going to happen. There'd be no point in complaining about a fortunate position that they have already managed to achieve. Despite what some people are saying that Celtic would happily be given the title or they were lobbying to be given the title, which a certain Twitter fourth official account, which is obviously run by a Hunt, was trying to say. But it's been stated again by chairman, manager, players, that they wanted to play the league out. Obviously the Scottish Cup is still in the air with 3 games to play. And why would Celtic want to be out of the running for a quadruple treble? Why would any of the players or any of the fans not want to have that experience? And this is my favourite thing that they've said. Sport and integrity. This is the funniest thing that a raging Hun could ever say to anybody about the game of football and where they had came from as a team. I even saw recently that a portion of Rangers fans were trying to get World War II regional titles counted towards their tally of titles. All because Celtic have a World War I title that stands. But Rangers also have a World War I title that stands. I'm not a historian, but that's what I've heard and that's what I've read. I don't understand it at all. That establishment fans screaming for sport and integrity doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all because sport and integrity has never been a part of the Rangers philosophy. They literally died because they cheated. A lot of their success in their final years before their death was due to tax evading manoeuvres. But even when you look at the 9 in a row winning team in the 90s, no one likes us. We don't care. What about that screams sport and integrity? I hear a lot of their fans still spout this to this day, and that is not sport and integrity. That's not how that really rolls. And even when you break it down to their play style, the Rangers play style, from what I see, is you have big lumbering idiots bashing about the place and trying to make the football ugly and tense and win battles. They've never been about the beauty of the game or tactically proficient. They've never been about style. So they've never actually been about the sport. They've been about winning, and that's fine. You look at Walter Smith's anti-footballing style when he had some of the better players within the UK. And this is coming from me, by the way. I love gamesmanship. I love winning. If I can play to the advantage of the rules or bend them a little bit to win, but it's still within the rules, I'm all about that. In powerlifting, there's an arch in the bench, which is completely on the rules, but it does bend and it does shorten the range of motion. So, I'm not all against this, but I don't lie and say that I'm about sport and integrity of sport when I just want to win. Now, in my eyes, Celtic deserve to be crowned champions. They played a brilliant season, picking up points when they've been pushed, pulling off some great results in the Europa group stages. Hopefully one year we can stop bottling it. Domestically though, they've still been top notch, really persevering and showing why they are champions. Punching up is easy, but beating plucky bottom of the table teams just isn't for everyone. That's been my thoughts on the current SPFL situation and the loudest people in the room normally being the dumbest. I don't know why I wanted to talk about it so much. It's honestly, it's just been on my Twitter feed the entire last 2 months, and it's been brilliant to really see how hilarious it is. So ending this video, we'll take a second here to just plug my strength coaching. So if you go to GRAYT Fitness on Instagram or Facebook, where you can see some of my content there, any interested to drop me a DM. Of course, check out @GRAYT_ on Twitter if you just want to give a follow and maybe drop some beef back and forth. If you liked the video, give a wee subscribe, eh? Thanks.